All the different kinds of roles that I have played just in life has been incredibly beneficial when I'm approaching different characters. I'm like, who do you need me to be? I can do that. I may have already done that, at some point in my life.
Hello, my name is Gemma from Gemma Watches Stuff, and this is the podcast I don't know what we're talking about, which is chaotic and crazy and fun, and today has been no exception. I want to welcome to the podcast today the very multi-talented Jennifer Jelsema. Thank you so much for coming along today.
Well, thank you for such a lovely introduction and for having me, Gemma. I was looking forward to this for so long.
I started with a little bit of extra chaos and crazy today because we had some trouble figuring out time zones. We then had some trouble with Zoom crashing on us after we've hit record. So, as you can tell, the way that this podcast works is very crazy and very chaotic, but we are very thankful for having you here today. And the way this podcast works is before we press the record button, we've been communicating and emailing back and forward, and you have sent through a bunch of different topics of different things that you'd be comfortable talking about. And that's the only premise that any guest ever gets given when they come on the podcast. And so it's my fun job now to surprise you and completely throw you in the deep end in choosing one of these topics. Do you have any idea what we're talking about? Do you remember the topics you sent? It's been a while.
I do. I actually have them pulled up here. So, but I haven't given a ton of thought, but I'm going to trust that I listed them as possible topics. So let's go. I'm ready.
Well, I actually really liked your topics. I thought the choices and like the way that you phrased some of these are excellent. And there's a lot here that I feel like would also cross over. So I was really struggling to pick one because I feel like there are so many here I want to dig into. But I also have a feeling that once we start in one, we could definitely cover a few of your topics because they definitely cross over. But the one that caught my attention straight away was actually the one at the top of
Okay.
your list, becoming an actor
Yeah.
later in life or pursuit of a secret dream. I loved that
Yeah.
idea and I loved that concept, and I'm really excited to hear what you meant by that.
Okay, great. Well, I had wanted to be an actor ever since I was a little girl, but I didn't see myself as an Asian woman being represented as a being I was adopted, right? And so I didn't see myself on screen hardly at all. So I don't know if I ever thought it was a possibility. And then I was raised by a very conservative family. And so acting wasn't really a possibility of a career to pursue. Now, I did theater in school, did the musicals, was in the senior play and all that kind of stuff. And I loved every bit of it. But as I was preparing, to go to college, it just wasn't something I knew that it wasn't going to be something my family would support. And I didn't think it would be possible. I didn't believe it would be possible for me to actually pursue that. When I was 21, I had a modeling agency approach me and sign me, and it was very small. It's in, small market, and I did really well with it. And I immediately started doing on-camera work, and I absolutely loved it. So I got to have like a little taste of it, but it was here and there, it's fairly sporadic. Did a lot of commercial work and some like training videos and industrials and things like that. But I was a single mom from 21 on. And then I had another daughter about 5 years later. And so then it was just financially not feasible for me to pursue it, right? So it was always the secret dream that I had never told anybody. So in 2009, I told my best friend at the time, Tara Tarney, and I admitted to her that my dream was to be an actor. And it was the first time I'd ever said it out loud to anybody. I don't even know if I fully realized that myself, right? But by saying it, it almost like forced me to start pursuing it. So I started auditioning and I auditioned for a couple of plays and I auditioned for some student films and it was just amazing because I was able to do it. I was getting work, and then I pursued additional representation. So at one point, as a non-union actor, I had representation all throughout the Midwest. And so from just sharing my secret dream, it made it happen because there's something about it. You just have to pursue it once it's out there in the universe.
I love the fact that it was once you named it, like once you put it out there and you said it, it became real to you. And even though obviously it was real to you, like you had it,
Yes.
somewhere in your head or your heart or somewhere in there, you knew that
Yes.
that was what you wanted to do. But the fact that it wasn't until you, I guess, spoke it out loud that it became that truth for you that you're like, nope, this is it. Like, oh, this is actually what I want to do. Like, I love that. So
That's exactly right.
was there fear or apprehension in, like, obviously you mentioned the family aspect of it, like being adopted and in conservative family, and when somebody tells you I want to be an actor, it's not like, oh yeah, you'll be financially stable for the rest of your life. That's definitely not the first response. So when you
No.
first kind of started to know quite early on that maybe that was something you wanted to pursue, was there a lot of fear and apprehension, not only from family and just the aspect of being judged for a life choice or not being financially stable, or all of these things that come along with the
Yeah.
idea of I want to be an actor? How did you cope with that? How did you deal with the fear and apprehension, or I suppose any other emotions that kind of came up for you during that time?
Yeah, for sure. So part of it was definitely fear about finances because it's definitely not financially secure, job to pursue, especially early on. Um, but there's also fear of not being able to do it, of not being a good actor. I hadn't been formally trained. I didn't go and get my master's, in theater or acting in any way. I didn't go to conservatory, so how am I going to do it? But what I have was I've gotten trained by just doing it on the job. Now, that said, I did a lot of research on my own too, because I did take it very seriously. So I studied Meisner and I studied, I read a lot. I signed up for as many workshops as I could find. And then to be able to sustain myself, I always had other work. Often I was working 2 to 3 jobs to support my family, but also to support what I call my acting habit. And then I became very fortunate because I think number one, because I was so passionate about it, and also because I had kind of a natural ability, apparently, I was getting quite a bit of work. As a non-union actor, I was working constantly. So it started creating some financial stability, right? And then it wasn't until, man, maybe 2018, 19, where I actually started doing it more full time, where I started stepping away from other roles and really dedicating myself to it. So,
Yeah, that was
but yeah, there
probably,
was so much fear. There's
yeah.
so much fear. There still is at
Yeah, yeah.
times.
Yep, you read my mind. That was literally going to be my next question, because I was about to ask you, in the process of this, obviously um it's not a job unless you're lucky enough to be financially stable already or have some money or backing or support behind you in that way. It's not a job I feel that a lot of actors just can step into their work straight away and be making enough money to pay the bills and pay for
Yeah,
life and live off it. So normally people have another job or another income or some other means of that. So were you working other jobs while pursuing acting at the same time?
absolutely. And then I got married. I married my husband, and so now we had two incomes coming in, and so that was helping to maintain, to get some stability, right? So as my career is starting to take off, and I'm able to support myself with that, I also had a partner, right, that was very supportive of me pursuing my career, and I thank you, Jim. So, yeah,
Beautiful. Something else I want to mention, because I feel like it comes up a lot in the interviews that I've done. So this podcast has been going for nearly a year now. I've been working with actors for some time longer than that. But within the space of the last year,
congratulations.
thank you. Within the space of the last year, interviewing actors twice a month, so we have two guests on each month. There's been a common thread through all of the actors that I've worked with, that I've spoken with, and the common thread is how there's no common path. That's the common
Right.
thread, in that there's no exact way that anybody
No,
becomes an actor. Everybody's journey looks completely different. Everybody has taken
absolutely.
different classes, different degrees, different study, you know, different picked up different skills, worked in different areas, and they've all taken completely different paths, not only through just personal things and personal preferences and how they work and who they work with and the connections that they make, but there's also been this common thread, including yourself, through everyone that I've spoken with, is that there's never a strict way, or you need to go do this degree, or you need to go and do
Yeah.
this study, or work with this acting coach. It's always been such a broad and wide scope of how people learn. And I guess that's
Yes.
what
Well,
makes acting so accessible as well.
yes, yes. And also a great challenge. I coach or talk with a lot of people who will want to pursue acting, right? And I tell them it's not a linear path in any way. It's not like you're just going up, I say it's all like this. It's just everywhere, right? So yes, there are so many different ways of approaching it as a career. I'm very grateful now when I consider all the kinds of jobs I had in my past, all the different kinds of roles that I have played just in life has been incredibly beneficial when I'm approaching different characters. I'm like, who do you need me to be? I can do that. I may have already done that, at some point in my life. So there's some real benefit to that. But there's also, you have to be, as an actor, you have to be very grounded in yourself and who you are because this can buffet you, right? Because it's not linear. You're not going to, there's no guarantee that even if you start building all this momentum, there's no guarantee that that's going to continue. I had so much momentum in building in 2019. And then you know what happened? COVID.
Mm.
I mean, I had a film that went to South by Southwest, won Audience Choice. I was there for the premiere. I had TV shows and I had all this, I had this great theater gig, with an amazing theater here in Chicago. I had all of this happening. And then COVID hit and it all went away. So nothing is guaranteed in this job. And part of that is a gift in a way because it always keeps you hungry. It always keeps you grateful, or at least it should, for the opportunities that you do get. So yeah, so many different ways of approaching and so many different ways of navigating because it's going to be different for everybody. Somebody could just be an influencer and then they get this lead role in some huge film, right? And then there are other actors who have gone through conservatory, got their masters, whatever, all of this, and it doesn't guarantee that they're going to have ever that kind of career, but they're just going to be really hardworking actors, making a life.
Yeah, that's right, 100%. And I definitely want to touch on what you said as well about COVID because I feel like that really changed how the process of acting works, like how you get gigs, how you book commercials, how you get roles, how you get guest spots, how you get like it really technology. And even then you mentioned, an influencer can come along, have a couple thousand, followers on Instagram, pick the right person, talk to the right person, follow the right Instagram page, and then bang, off they go. So it's really changed. I feel like technology and the scope of how our culture and society, I suppose, has changed over this time. And obviously, I'm in Australia and you're in the US, but it's still quite, similar here in the way that we connect with people. I mean, we connected through Instagram. So, I mean, it's the way that these
Yeah.
things work with technology now. And since COVID, I believe that scope has really changed. So, because you've got people now that have to be their own have to be their own producers and tech people. You've got to set up your green screen and your camera light. You've got to have your phone and do your recording and email it into the ether. And you never know if you're going to get a response back or an email or, you sometimes you hear absolutely nothing and you never know. So I feel like what you've touched on in the experiences that changed for you in that, you were building and building and working towards something and having all of these massive achievements, and congratulations, by the way, all these huge achievements, and you're building and growing to then have COVID hit and it all kind of change and fall apart.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk about that experience for you, what it was like for you personally when COVID hit, what that looked like, and how it's shaped acting for you moving forward.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. But I will say because I was working remotely quite a bit already, because I had representation throughout the Midwest. So I would often submit by video first. So I already had a green screen. I already had, the ability to shoot myself, for auditions and such. So thankfully, I was kind of prepared. In fact, I've helped coach other people on how to do it because I've been doing it for so long already. When COVID hit, it did entirely change because then I had one agent here in Chicago, and everything became video, which I did book things, but there was a time there that there was nothing, right? Everything was shut down, and you didn't really know if it was going to come back. Um, I did get a shoot one film that in my home during COVID, which was a blast. I emptied one of the rooms. I set it up as a set, and that was a blast. And that really helped feed me, during that time when it's a creative desert in that regard. I also picked up other hobbies. I started sewing. I started designing and making my own clothes. So that was another creative outlet. I bought a piano, a really piece of crap piano off of Facebook Marketplace and started playing piano, which I hadn't done since I was a kid, So I was finding creative outlets to survive that time. And then coming out of it, I mean, I did a number of auditions as we were coming out over video and callbacks. And so I was really fortunate that once things started to open up, I did get a few projects here and there, but it was still a lot less than what had been prior. And the way you work was different, right? Because like there'd be masks and there'd be COVID tests. I mean, it became kind of a burden. Like, let's say I booked a co-star on a TV show, you had to go in for a COVID test, you had to go in for wardrobe, you had to go in for another COVID test, and then you would shoot. I mean, it just got complicated. It's like, I'm going to really need to want this role to want to be able to go through all of that. But yeah, and then right out of COVID, after that, we SAG, had the writer's strike and then the actor's strike. And so that changed things. It just kind of compounded. So yeah, it's been tough. And I think in some ways we're still kind of recovering from that. As you know, I'm sure a lot of these studios are, merging. There's been a lot of shakeup in this industry. There's less work, which means the competition is more fierce. So it still looks different as a career than it did prior to COVID. And then you've got the introduction of AI and all of us thinking, oh my gosh, are we going to get replaced by AI? So I mean, I don't think that will happen, but it's definitely, like so for example, a lot of the commercial work now is going away because it's AI or it's influencers or it's big name stars, right? Because they're available because there's less work. So it's still different.
Yeah. And it will, yeah, that's right. Especially with AI is something I didn't mention. You're 100% right. It'll continue to grow and change, but I definitely agree with you that it'll never be able to replace what acting is because we as humans, as humanity as a whole, we long for stories. We long for connection. We long for that engagement, and we can tell when things are fake and it doesn't sit right with us. Like you'll never be able to connect with a movie or a film or a show, or you can never have that connection without the human element. And by having AI, you're taking away the human element, and it's not going.
Yeah.
It's scary though. It is scary. There was a I'm sure you would have seen it. There was an AI actor in SAG after I had to put out a big thing going, we don't, we want our real actors. We want our human actors. We don't want to see AI actors become a thing. So it is a very scary time, 100%.
There's an AI actor with an agent, so crazy. It's interesting though. I was with a friend of mine who is a filmmaker, and she was saying that she had gone to a film festival, and one of the films that was shown was made with AI, and it got booed.
Mm,
So this younger audience doesn't want AI. They want the real thing. So it is, I feel bad for that one particular filmmaker. To get booed is a terrible thing. And apparently it was a student film and it was kind of a requirement, and he did a fine job with it, which is why I got into this festival. And he was, from the sounds of it, he was really honorable in the way that he received that uh, criticism. But yeah, so it gives me some hope. It gives me some hope that people are truly going to want the human element no matter what, particularly in theater. That's one space where, man, theater, we don't go there we go there before the human element. We want to feel, we want to change our minds. And I just don't think that a non-human can do that. And also, some of the finest actors that I have worked with are the ones that can interpret script in a very unique way, right? They can interpret a story in a very unique way. And AI can't do that. I just don't believe that.
yeah.
So,
And I guess that's the key component about AI is that it learns and grows and understands from humans, from us, from our
yeah.
input. And so to then want to choose that over humanity is really an interesting concept because it's taking on what it learns from us. So it's just
Yeah.
it's a replacement. It's a tool and it can be used as a tool. But I also love what you said about the filmmaker who created the AI movie that got in and got booed to be able to like take that criticism, especially if it didn't have a choice, it was part of a program. Like you obviously put time and effort into it. Like it's kind of heartbreaking that, but I understand why. I understand
Yeah.
why people booed. I understand why the response was, we don't like this. We don't want to see this. This isn't. It's not real. We can't connect with this, and we
Yeah.
don't want to see it.
And it's anathema to everything that we as filmmakers and actors believe in. So,
Yeah.
I will say too, coming out of COVID, is when I started producing. And that has been, when you think about surviving as an actor, to broaden your scope within an industry is really smart. Number one, you can make work that you want to do. You can make your own work. If there's not a lot of work out there, you're not getting kinds of roles that you want, you can make your own work. And then you can collaborate with other people and help them make their work. And so being a producer has also helped me expand and grow professionally, but also financially, right? Another area of within the industry that can help support me as I pursue my dream.
That was another topic you had on the list, a collaborative community, and there's
Mhm.
definitely some things on that that I want to talk about. So we might jump into that. But before we do, I'm going
Yeah.
to pause you right here. We're going to play a little bit of a game. I'm going to throw you
Okay.
a deep end, and the game that we're about to play is called This or That, and it's really straightforward. I'm going to give you two options. You have to answer which one you prefer, or you like, or you don't like, or which one you would choose, and then just
Okay.
explain why you chose that. So I've got three questions for you today, and the first question
Okay.
for you I have is travel by car or travel by plane?
Oh, travel by car.
Ooh, okay. Why?
Well, that said, I mean, obviously, I want to go see the world, so then that doesn't serve. But if I had to choose, I just love the freedom, and I love to see, like, I'm in America, and I love to see our country from the road, and you can listen to your music, and you can have the windows open. You can't open the windows on the plane; people get angry. You get kicked off. And you don't have to sit like this next to, people. Yeah, I loved having the space and the freedom and to stop whenever you want. And you see something beautiful or wonderful, you have driving makes room for magic on a trip, in my opinion, where a plane doesn't, a plane is a means, a car can actually be part of the joy of the journey.
Driving
What about
makes
you?
room for
What would you
magic.
choose?
I see. I'm torn, but this question's hard because
Yeah.
I love the fun of going on a plane because I don't get to travel via plane very often. So it's all you get to the airport, you got your luggage, you get to pack my suitcase, and it's all very exciting. I get my ticket, I get to pick my seat. However, I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm quite tall, which means long legs, small seats, squishy knees. And when you were like sitting like this, I'm like, yeah, no, I feel it. I feel like already I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't do it. So I definitely prefer a road trip. I love the feeling of, yeah, loud music, singing in the car, driving,
Yes.
beautiful landscapes, and again, driving across Australia, beautiful landscapes, so many
Oh,
things to see. Like, can't beat a road trip. So I
I
agree
would.
100% with the car.
Yes, absolutely. And
Beautiful.
you know what's really funny is I'm 5'4". So when I'm walking down the aisle, everybody's hoping I'm sitting next to them because I'm little.
Then we're perfect plane buddies, okay? Perfect plane buddies.
Yeah,
We've got all the needs
you and I
covered.
can
Great.
travel.
Done. Perfect. Let's go. Question number two for you.
Yes.
Time travel to the past or time travel to
Mm.
the future?
Oh, that's a good one. It's hard because my gut feeling is saying travel to the future. But I will say that the state of our world right now makes me nervous about our future. Um, and I'm hoping that our future is bright and that humanity will come together to ensure that and rediscover what's truly important as a species. I always say, like, I can't wait for the aliens to come because then it's just going to be humans and aliens. It's not going to be all this divisiveness, among our species. We're not going to care.
Yeah,
We're not going to care.
great.
So I think I would, if I would say the future because I think it's super exciting, but there are things that make me a little scared about our future right now, our environment, our politics, our world. But I do have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope that we as a people, as a species, are going to come together at some point. The past, I just don't know when I would want to go to in the past. I've always kind of felt like I was out of time anyway. I always feel like I'm a little from the future. So, how about you? Would you go back or forward?
I think uh, I'm not a huge history buff. I feel like certain people who are, yeah, really into history, their answer is really easy. Like, I'm going back. I want to go see this. I want to meet this person. I want to go here. I want to go there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, there are a few attractive things about the past that I would want to go and see, or even just to learn. I feel like there would be a lot more to learn in the past, whereas the future's more exploration, new things I want to see. Whereas the past is I want to learn, I want to know, I want to understand, I want to see where we've come from. And so I think I would want to go back. And but
Okay.
then the question is where though? Where? Because there's so many places and so many things and so many incredible historical figures that I would want to see and meet and questions
Yeah.
that I want to ask. And yeah, so I'm not a huge history buff, but I think the idea of being able to go back and learn more about what's happened, which will
Yeah.
hopefully then help me in the future. So
I just, I really appreciate indoor plumbing. So I don't know if I'd want to go too far back. And showers, I think showers are a really great invention. Although you could always go swimming in a clean river and water. So yeah, I don't know.
so there's going to be a few things. If I go back, I need to be able to get back here at when
Yes.
I want and ready to go. I need to be able to take things with me from here back there so that I'm prepared. There's going to be a few
Ooh.
things on the list if we're going to go.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Question number three for you: movies at home or movies at the
Hmm.
cinema?
Oh, movies at the cinema. 100%. 100%. Now, I do love watching movies at home, but because you and I, we have to watch movies, right? So we watch a lot of movies. So the convenience of doing it at your home and like snuggle up in bed or, sitting on the couch is great. But there is nothing like seeing a movie in the theater and you're sharing experience with so many people and the energy of that audience of each other and having a shared experience is just something so beautiful, not to mention, films are made for the big screen. There are things that you miss when it's on the small screen, like um the cinematography, right? It just there's a spaciousness and there's a beauty and a landscape that you can miss on a small screen. Also, I often will watch things on a small screen and then I struggle with like subtitles and stuff, where like in a theater, like you can see it all. So how about you? I think you are probably cinema as well.
100%, 100%. I think there's something so incredibly special and beautiful, and again, it's the connection and the storytelling and the relationship aspect of it. That don't get me wrong, everybody loves the idea of coming home after a long day at work and being like, what am I? I'm still awake. What am I going to do? I'm going to watch a movie. Put your pajamas on, get your favorite snack, curl up on the like. Everybody loves that. Like nobody's going to be like, oh no. Like we all want that, yes. But there's something extra. There's something special. There's something amazing just about having that community with you, and you go and you see it on the screen, and it's really the magic of the big screen. Like it really is. And
Yes.
there's been so many films that I've seen when I've walked away not with a new outlook on life, but just feeling refreshed and being, whether or not I'm walking out laughing because it was hilarious and I'm feeling brighter about my day, or I've walked out and I've been like, wow, that was amazing. And it just
Yeah.
the emotion and the what you pull from going
Yeah.
and sitting in a theater to watching that is unparalleled to watching a film anywhere else.
Absolutely. And I think when you're talking about the experience too, like, so for example, laughter is contagious. So when you are sitting in a theater and everybody's laughing, right? It just is so palpable and it just makes it funnier. And likewise, when something is very sad and you've got all these people, tears streaming down their faces, tears are streaming down your face, it's just a really beautiful connection, a really beautiful moment.
That's so true because there's definitely been times when I've watched a film at the cinema and I've been like, this is fantastic, this is so funny, like it's a comedy, I've loved it, I'm laughing, like every other line, every other joke, it's hilarious, I'm cracking up laughing. And I've watched the same film a couple of months later when it's, come out on streaming services or whatever, and I've watched it later and I've been like, it feels different. Like I'm laughing. It's not the same. This isn't quite what I, like it's this is,
Quite as funny as I thought it was.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, and then not to even mention, like sometimes the cinematography is just so extraordinary that watching on a smaller screen just is a disservice to the work that was done and what the world that was created. So yeah, as a filmmaker, I think any filmmaker would have to always choose the cinema.
When you were talking about that, I was thinking about traveling, like sitting in the airport, waiting for a flight, watching watching a movie on your phone or something, and I'm like, oh, the heartbreak. Like it just you have to have the experience at a cinema. 100%. I love that. Beautiful. Well, thank you for playing. That's our little game, this or that. It's always lots of fun.
That was fun.
Right? Beautiful. We've got a little bit more time together, and I do want to jump back to what we mentioned before. And it was actually a topic that you put in your list here, and it says finding collaborators and building a creative community. Now, I stumbled across you because I have had Barton Bund and Justin Main on my podcast, who you are working with, or
Awesome.
have worked with at the moment, I should say, in a vertical series. So before you jump into
Yes.
a little bit more about your creative collaboration, I'm wondering if you want to start there.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, we have a vertical series that Bart and I co-produced, and we're both in it as well. Bart wrote it. You met with Bart. He is incredibly talented. He is a unique talent. And he's extraordinary in the way that he can do anything, I swear. He's like, oh, I'm going to figure out how to edit it. I'm going to do VFX. I'm going to do this. It's like, I don't know how you do that all. Plus, he's a brilliant writer. We had come up with this idea, well, an idea, because of some of his practical skills that he has. Like he does beautiful origami and these amazing pop-up books. I'm like, Bart, we need to create a series that can show that, to show your kind of work. Really, provide like a canvas for it. And so we went down a couple of, and then I said, because it was at the time when vertical series were starting to be talked about. It was at the very beginning. Like, what if we did a vertical series? And so then he started creating stories. We went on a couple cul-de-sacs, and then we landed on this time travel series called Time Away. People can find it at on Instagram at Time Away Series. And it was kind of an experiment because we had never done this before. It was kind of like the Wild West in regards to the industry because SAG didn't even have a contract for it when we were doing it. Now they do. And nobody really knew how to do it. And here we are, just these indie filmmakers saying, yeah, well, let's give it a whirl. And it was a blast. It was a total experiment. Bart has done phenomenal work with the VFX. And the writing is really delightful. It's unlike any other vertical series people can see because I mean, they are very formulaic for the most part. It has a billionaire, it has sex, it has, the girl, blah, blah, blah. This is not that at all. It's really delightful because it's about time travel, which is what you and I talked about. So it goes in the past and the future. So yeah, so that's been a blast. Bart and I met, gosh, I don't even know how many years ago. We were working on an industrial, and it was a fun one. It was so fun. And we just immediately hit it off. And then he wrote this short film called Glenda. I believe people can find it on YouTube. It's really beautiful. And it was the first time we had worked together in that capacity. And he would run the script by me. And then we started working on other projects, couple ideas that are just so big that they're just not doable at this point. And then we landed on this vertical series, and we are releasing an episode each Thursday on Instagram, and then the next day is on Facebook, and then at some point it's going to be up on YouTube. So it's been a blast. But Bart is one of my favorite collaborators. We trust each other implicitly. Not that we don't challenge each other sometimes, but do really love working with him. Justin Main was a phenomenal actor in Time Away as well. So I'm glad you've talked to both of them. They're great.
Beautiful. Well, we will put all the links and share all the socials and everything so people can jump on that because I have seen it, I'm watching it, I'm looking out for when it drops. It's fantastic. You guys are absolutely incredible. The visual effects are really cool. And I had no idea that Bart was like, I'm going to figure that out for myself. I had no idea. That's really amazing.
He's doing most of it. I think he's getting some help from Joe, who owns the place where we shot, which was Hollywood Farmstead. But I think they changed the name, so that might be something you want to edit because I may have that wrong. But so I do think that he's been working with Joe, but otherwise he's been doing the majority of it himself. But he's just that kind of person that can figure it out. He's just so smart. And I'm super lucky to have a number of collaborators that I work with, particularly here in Chicago, and it just delights me. These are people, you go on set, you go on a project, and you're like, oh, I like you. You and I just resonate. Let's do something else together.
Yeah.
I feel like every project I work on, there's going to be somebody that I take with me into the future work. But now in Chicago, it's just I have a couple different groups of collaborators. I have this amazing team of people that we shot a feature film last summer. It is called Line Cooks. It's a mockumentary coming of age story that takes place in a really terrible kitchen. It's going to be hitting the film festival circuit here soon. But through that, we've just built this amazing community of creatives, of filmmakers. You know, our editor's a filmmaker, our colorist is a filmmaker, um, uh, our director is a filmmaker. I mean, it's our everybody on our AD was a filmmaker, you know, so we have this amazing community of people who are so smart, so passionate, and I would do anything for them. They're just such great people. We had six producers, I think, on that film, and I would work with each one of them again a million times because it's just amazing. So when you are so fortunate and careful in who choose to work with, right? You can do beautiful work for who knows how long, but it's really important to cultivate that community and to grow it. So, like I said, any project I'm on, it's like, ooh, I like you. I'm going to take you with me on the next one, and I think that is how you do it. You invite certain people in that have the same kind of sensibility or passion. For me, it's really passion, and excitement and it's really wonderful to help make other people's dreams come true, other people's work, bring it to life. And then there's also the actors. There are actors, as you know, I'm sure, that people continue to work with, right? Like you think about Wes Anderson. He works with the same actors so often. It's big, and I totally understand that because you get a group of people that you really like to work with. You kind of speak a similar language, and it is just a joyous experience because you trust each other, you can have fun with each other, you are completely accepted for who you are. The director that I work with all the time, who's also a writing collaborator, a filmmaking partner, is John Mossman. He is brilliant, a writer, director, actor, and he has done a phenomenal job really creating an ensemble of actors. And I've been very fortunate to be one of those. So, and now we work on these projects together. So, yeah, so the more community that you as a filmmaker can build, you as an actor can build, is just so beneficial. And it's just good for your heart. It's good for your creativity. It's so fun to find really smart people that you can bounce things off of, and just make things better.
Yeah.
Just make every project better, every scene better. So,
100%. And I feel like that's another reason why there's so many methods in how people become an actor, like how they go on this journey, because it's often as well who you know. Like when you meet somebody who's a brand new actor and you speak that same language and you just click from the first go, you're like, you're coming with me, we're gonna make something cool. Like, and you just collect people as you go. And I think that's another reason, again, also why AI will never be able to replace that, because it's making that connection, it's working together, it's being collaborative, it's building something, and there's no place for AI within that. So it's
exactly.
just such a
AI
beautiful
can't,
space.
yeah, AI can't yes and.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God, can you imagine if AI
right.
started doing improv? Oof.
Yeah, that's. I feel
And
like there's a story
usually,
there that needs to be told just in how terrible AI can
well, we can do that. We can totally do that. But no, there's nothing like finding a group of like-minded people that you love and respect and create things with. You know, it's just such a joy. It is the greatest pleasure of my career right now, is really working with people. And it's the sense of it's not about you, it's about lifting other people. And if you are working with people that also want to lift you, that's beautiful, right? If we're all working together to lift each other. A young man that I've worked with in the theater at Goodman Theater, who I find just incredibly brilliant, talented young actor. I helped him produce a short film based on a treatment that he had written, and I agreed to do it because I just believe in him wholeheartedly. His name is Jalen Munchison. You got to know that because he's going to be something. Well, he just got accepted into Juilliard's conservatory, and I said, that's amazing. I mean, we were at a ramen restaurant when he told me, and I literally jumped up and screamed in the restaurant because I was so excited for him. And he said to me, he's like, he hopes that this will allow him to go and do this and meet people and hone his skills and bring up other people that have helped him along the way. And that's really what this is about. You know, it's about bringing up other people. In Line Cooks, there were two particular young actors. They'd never shot a film before. And I had said to my collaborators, I'm like, if this will help elevate their careers because they both deserve it because they're so talented, it will all have been worth it. You know, and I feel like that is what this is about. It's building that community. It's and creating with people you love.
100%. That's absolutely right. 100%. And I feel like for those that are watching, you're not all actors, obviously, but that relates to any job, any space, any school, any study, anywhere you are in your life. That whole concept of, lifting others up and building something together and that sense of community and teamwork. You can take that and put that in your context. Like if you work in an office, if you're currently at
Yeah.
school or university or college, use that there. Like it, this is something so incredibly specific to acting and absolutely 100% in this world that we both work in, but bigger than that, beyond that, and like we were
It's
talking about, yeah,
universal.
with the idea
It's
of looking to the future, that's how it's going to get fixed. That's how it's going to continue to grow, as if we are looking out for each other and building community and connections. And I love it.
yes, yes, yes. You're speaking my language,
I love it.
Gemma.
Beautiful. I love it. Beautiful. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time today. We've had some technical glitches, but you've struggled through it with me all the way through. So thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a privilege to have you here.
It has been such a delight talking with you, Gemma. You're wonderful. I wish you all the best on this podcast. I will keep watching your episodes
Thank you
and we
so
will just keep
much.
lifting each other up.
100%. That's it. Before I let you go, though, if people want to watch the Time Away series, if people want to connect with you, they want to see more of you, they want to watch some of the things you've done or stay connected to see what you've got coming up in the future, where can they find you online?
Okay, so I have a website which is badly outdated. I have got to update it, but that's jenniferjelsema.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Jen Jelsema, and I think you're going to put some links in, right? I sent you some info. At Time Away series is our vertical series. But yes, my IMDb, I'm on IMDb. I think it's imdb.me Jennifer Jelsema. I think there's a backslash in there, me backslash.
Yeah.
Jennifer Jelsema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
So yeah, find me on all of it.
Beautiful. Through the magic of editing, the links will be down here below. You can see those. Go find Jen, go follow her on Instagram, catch up with her, see what she's doing. And yeah, thank you so much again for hanging out. It's been an absolute privilege. It's been so much fun. You're talking my language. It's been lovely.
Well, and we're going to go travel together.
That's right.
I wish we were in the same room. I'd give you a hug.
Digital.
So thank you, Jem. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.